to start the show, better take your seats. It's been a while, but I'm back on top. To the world is mine, I don't plan to stop. It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna hold the night. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the knockdown, drag out, stand up, get loud? This is how we get down. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet, get on out the door, take it to the streets. Turn up the heat, we're working up the sweat, yeah. I'll show you something that you won't forget, It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna hold the night. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the knockdown, drag out, stand up, get loud? This is how we get down. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna hold the night. Are you ready? 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 Are you ready for the knockdown, drag out, stand up, get loud? This is how we get down. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. About to start the show, better take your seats.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Online Wave Talk, brought to you by Good Neighbors Philippines. Wave Talk is a locally unique gathering that will unchain smart conversation, innovativeness, and inspiration. With the theme this year's Empower Through Social Responsibility. And that is the question: how do we empower our youth to be socially responsible? Last Wave episode, we learned from Dr. Rina as she talked about space technology and citizen science on how it works together for the future and for the Earth. Tonight, we will be joining Mr. Tonio Flores, a farmer, and the Executive Director of FarmLab, discussing the importance of collaboration with the communities in creating a better opportunities to create social entrepreneurship. We are also live on the Department of Education's Youth Formation Division official Facebook account, who has been in support to our online Wave Talk. You heard it right. We are partnering with the DepEd. So magandang gabi sa magigiting nating mga guro. We would also like to thank our major sponsor for our online Wave Talk, Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. Stay with us for you to win amazing prizes, Wave Makers.
Ladies and gentlemen, attention please. About to start the show, better take your seats. It's been a while, but I'm back on top. To the world is mine, I don't plan to stop. It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna all night. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Our program will begin shortly, so invite everyone to tag or share this with your friends and family so they can be part of the wave. Don't forget to type in the comment section, where are you watching now, so you can be recognized and we can identify where are the waves are coming from. Online wave makers.
I'll show you something that you won't forget, huh? It's time to let the curtain rise. We're gonna shake the room, we're gonna all night. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Dr. Reina Reyes.
We have satellites, thousands of satellites surrounding the Earth. And this technology now allows us to monitor our resources, and it also allows us to take care of our natural environment, our water and on water and on land. But all this space data is has to be processed, analyzed, and used. And it takes a whole network. It takes all of us to make this work to protect the Earth.
Let's get back on track. Let's get back to our business. And speaking of which, let's talk about entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship grants young people the platform, the resources, the networks to have a direct social and economic impact in our society. But the question is, how can we empower the youth to positions of action and decision making so that they can help achieve a more developed and progressive country? To talk about enabling social entrepreneurship, our speaker is a fabulous farmer and executive director of FarmLab, an organization committed to weaving together agricultural science, social technology, and regenerative design. He is working to establish community gardens, organic farms, and food forests across the Philippines, working on projects with rural and urban stakeholders to design and grow efficient, biodiverse, and sustainable food production systems with communities through scientific and nature-based practices. This guy studied Agricultural Biotechnology at the University of the Philippines-Los Baños and holds a certificate in Training Methodologies for Organic Agricultural Production or Organic Agricultural Production. We would love to welcome our next Wave Talk speaker on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Tonio Flores.
Salamat, Robi.
Salamat, Sir Tonio.
Hello, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Ako si Tonio. I'm not usually in spaces like this. I'm usually outside, out in the field, na arawan, mainit, mahirap ang trabaho. That's what people think about farming. And the Philippines, as you know, is an agricultural country. And we boast a lot of very fertile land and a lot of really talented and really hopeful Filipinos. At heart, Filipinos are farmers. And we know food, we know how to eat. When we celebrate, there's always food, there's always mga fiesta, no? The things that people bring to the table. So food is something that we intensely celebrate when we are here in the Philippines. Ayan. Medyo nagahang lang yung screen, but may mga lalabas kasi na backup dancers. Joke lang. All right. So here are photos of when I was starting out in farming. So this is something that I never really set on doing when I was younger, but my grandparents are farmers, and I grew up in the city. So this was something that I sought out afterwards when I grew tired of city living and working in institutions. So you can see here photos of me with fellow farmers who are growing a variety of vegetables. So we're called FarmLab. We're a consulting group and an initiative. So it's more of a hybrid sort of thing. We work with organizations and we are enabling them to create farming systems that serve people. So this is something that is more collaborative and more nature-based in design. Ayan. So these are photos of our old site. This is in Silang, Cavite. And we are growing so many different types of vegetables that people wouldn't think can be grown in lowland areas. So things like carrots, for example. So people would usually think that carrots are something that can be only grown in Baguio City in highland areas. But we tried, and it resulted to really nice harvests. All right. So in the site, we're holding different workshops for people to learn about farming practices. And so different ages and groups and families and other organizations. Right. So we're more focused on making sure that the systems are efficient. Even in small spaces, people can reap a variety of vegetables from this small piece of land. Okay. So when I was younger, I would dream of living in a rural area in a bahay kubo. And we've been doing this for 5 years. This is one of the main offices or headquarters, as you may call it. Not so fancy, but it's something that we're very proud of. Coming from a family that doesn't have enough access to capital, and we don't have proper training in entrepreneurship, this is something that I never really dreamed about doing. But here we are. But as you know, there are sudden things that come in businesses like this or initiatives like this. So if you remember the Taal volcano eruption during 2020, that was such a hard thing for us. And this is something that we didn't expect to happen within our timeline or our life. Next thing you know, so we were able to establish a farm after that incident happened. A few months after, a typhoon came and ravaged our crops. So this is one of the field trials of our different, a variety of corn that we were trialing in the farm. So all of the resources down the drain. We weren't able to harvest enough to make it break even. So that was so devastating. And this is something that farmers across the Philippines and all over the world, this is something that farmers encounter every day. These are the challenges. And these incidents sensitized us and it made very clear to us how risky farming is, how farming is risk mitigation at its core. So I'd like to show this quote. The future is now here. It's just not equally distributed yet. Right, so this is by William Gibson. So as you know, so many developments, so many exciting developments are happening across science and technology and the arts and culture. But often, marginalized communities don't have access to these technologies. Even the most basic things like proper irrigation or a proper market is something that's totally alien to some communities in the last mile. And we'd like to think that one of the major things or major purposes that we need to focus on is to make sure that these basic services are being accessed by farmers. So according to a report in 2019, the Philippines is one of the most climate vulnerable countries all over the world. And we've heard of climate crisis. The Philippines now is being ravaged by a typhoon, Paeng. How was your commute here? Yeah, it was hard. Some participants weren't able to be with us today because of this super typhoon. So this is something that is real and felt. Second thing, the Philippines is one of the most severely deforested countries in the tropics. So most of the deforestation happened in the last 40 years. And this is something that agriculture is very linked to. And incidents of hunger in the Philippines have risen. For the first quarter of 22, there were 11.8% families, about 3 million families in December 2021, or 3.1 million families are food insecure. So these are crises that we face every day. We may not think about these things on from a larger perspective, but we experience this. We see that prices are rising. during the pandemic, we've encountered prices being so high, right? Some people feel so food insecure that they go out in the streets to beg for food. Right. But we'd like to think that crises are portals for transformation. So there is an opportunity here, and that these crises are actually something that we can leverage, we can turn into a service, we can turn into a career, we can turn into a product, whatever it is, right? So now we're encountering these every day. So there are solutions that we can try. This is a photo of vegetables that we're harvesting from the farm. So we have a subscription system for different types of vegetables, and we deliver to neighbors. So we're focusing more on relocalizing and making sure that our neighbors are being fed. So they buy produce from us and make sure that the farm runs. Okay. So after that experience of the different crises, we were able to establish FarmLab, which is a consulting group. And from those processes that we took on, we were able to create a streamlined process for other people and organizations to pursue. So what are the conditions for farmers to risk better? This is our framework there. So risking better means mas madali kang tumaya, no? Madaling tumalon. It's easier for people to set in on a business or an endeavor because the conditions are there. It's easy. So for farmers, that's knowledge sharing platforms, access to capital and resources, so very much needed. Appropriate technology, support systems for farmers. Support systems for farmers meaning investment, that's number one. The second thing would be insurance, all right. Agroecology or scientific and nature-based solutions, and then farmer solidarity. When simplified, it looks like this in the field. So you're looking at local and ecological food production, people participating in that process, and farmers, future farmers. That's my sister, she's here. So you can see that young people can do it with the proper resources, with the proper capital and support. Okay, so how did we get here to this point that we're able to share with you what we're doing? Of course, this is a work in progress, and we'd like to think that it's always, revising and trying to make the processes better. So the first thing is praxis, or you create moments for regeneration. Praxis means the combination of practice and theory, right? So you're looking at the innovations that you are encountering in the other fields and applying it to the field. So it's married that way. So we try to create moments for regeneration. This is a sample site plan that we've created with a farm in Lipa, in Cayumangi, Batangas. So you see different types of crops, right? Different field crops. You see an open field, rice paddy, there's food production, there's livestock, chickens, pigs. It looks like this from an aerial perspective. So we're trying to look at systems that are accessible for everyone. That means human scale agriculture. It's not necessarily very high technology. This is something that people can scale and people can start even with a small capital. And we're implementing organic farming practices, which means there should be less input. So this should be cheaper for people to implement. And safer, a lot safer for the environment and for the people who are eating our produce. And so this is Cayumangi Farm. You can check them out on Instagram. So they're now selling vegetables in Lipa City, right? Okay, so the imagination for this whole project is that this is a program or a system that can be implemented across the Philippines. This can be implemented in a small barangay. This can be implemented within the city. So we're looking at more localized farming systems that people can just, for example, you walk on the street, right? And then you go to the farm to buy your produce. So that's the whole imagination for this. And uh, we're working to make sure that this is implemented. Right. So this is another version of that. This is in Caliraya, Laguna. This is more agroforestry. So in a different setting, like somewhere with slopes or somewhere near a body of water, you can always do farming. There's not necessarily good or bad soil, right? Sometimes people say that there's bad soil and that you can't plant on that. But it's soil nonetheless. So you can always improve it. There are ways to do that.
Hello, wave makers! That is the first part of Mr. Tonio's talk for tonight. So far, what you have learned from his talk, comment now in our comment section to find out what are your small key takeaways and what you have learned from his first talk. But for that, let's find out what are your comments now in the comment section. So everyone, I'm encouraging you to comment what you have learned from the first talk of Mr. Tonio Flores. Okay, I'm acknowledging all the presence of our online viewers from different parts of the country. So we have from Laak, Davao de Oro, we have someone from Giwan Samar, from Hagonoy, Bulacan. We have also from Rizal, and all our teachers, and our students. Okay, so comment now, let's find out what you have learned from his first talk. Oh, here. Miss Princess Loreline C. Isip. This is something I never really dreamed of doing. When I heard this, in an instant, the thought of I may be not good at everything, but I am destined to be something I am destined to be. Maybe this is a key takeaway from first part of the talk, but it's somehow a very, it applies to all. So sige, comment now. Okay, from Miss China Marie Aduna, we can grow plants not only in high grounds. That's right. Okay, comment pa. Okay. Sige. So, we are encouraging everyone to comment. Give all your thoughts in the comment section. But before that, before we go to the second part of Mr. Tonio's talk, here are the winners of our last episode giveaways. So, please focus on the screen. Maybe your name will be called and you can get the prizes as I mentioned from the last episode. So here are the winners of the headphones. First, we have Jamaila Ramarate. Second, we have Chris Botsoy Abalayan Osdon. Third winner, we have Jana Tricia Robles. And fourth winner, we have Aliyah Garbo Valdez. Again, these are the winners for our headphones, sponsored by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. For the second giveaway last episode, wherein we ask you to provide 3 or 4 words or 1 phrase on what you have learned from the talk of Dr. Rina, here are the winners of the Thermoplast Tumbler. First winner, we have Venus Osdon. Congratulations! Second winner, we have Marie La Chica. Third winner, we have Rashida Ayob. Fourth winner, we have Princess Legaspi. And the fifth winner is Andrew Tamayo. Congratulations, everyone. You will get Thermoplast Tumbler. Always check your inbox as we directly message you on how you're going to claim your prizes. So this time, before we continue second part of Mr. Tonio's talk, we will be having again a short giveaway for all our online viewers from Facebook and YouTube. Again, we will be giving you giveaway for this time, so make sure that everyone are active on the comment section. type yes na yes if you are ready to win these amazing prizes. Again, type yes na yes if you are ready to win the amazing prizes, the same as the winners from the last episode. Okay, congratulations from me, Venus Osdon. Thank you. Okay, yes na yes from Kervin Ibanez. Yes na yes from Mark Paner. Yes na yes from China Aduna. Yes, congratulations daw, sabi ni Miss Lilia Alaba. Yes na yes from Josh Cruz. Yes na yes, Miss Evelyn Mina. Okay, I think everyone are excited to win these amazing prizes. This time, I will be flashing again the mechanics on the screen, so stay focused and get the chance to win. For the mechanics of our giveaway, all online participants are encouraged to be active on the comment section. Second, comment as many as you want and as many as you can. The interval for this giveaway is in every 16th comment. Again, ang mananalo ngayon ay pang-16 na comment. Ibig sabihin, kung sino ang mapapabilang sa 16, pang-32, pang-48, pang-64, at pang-80 na commentors, you will win headphone sponsored by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. So what are you going to comment now, wave makers? Comment, "We are the wave," and tag 3 of your friends. Again, comment, "We are the wave," and tag 3 of your friends. Okay, this time I am reminding everyone that 3 winners will be chosen from Facebook Live and 2 winners will be chosen from YouTube Live. So do not just focus on our Facebook Live streaming, but also go to the YouTube Live streaming because we will be choosing 2 winners from YouTube. So this time, I will be congratulating everyone in advance. So congratulations all the winners in advance as you're going to be chosen as the winners for this giveaway. So make sure to check your inbox. Maybe you are the lucky one who will win headphone sponsored by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. Now, this time, let us continue our learning from the talk of Mr. Tonio Flores and be inspired to their work with communities as they're creating wave-like impact. Wave makers.
Okay, the second thing, in order to create systems like this, you need to adapt and create tools and frameworks, right? So think of starting a business or an initiative, you need tools for that to happen. Okay, so one of the main core concepts or frameworks that we use in FarmLab is agroecology. So this is a mixture of different ecological concepts and principles in farming that has to do with the 3 circles of the social aspect, the economic aspect, and the environment aspect. So for social, we're looking at gender, tradition, culture, health, right? And then when you look at the economic side, the sustainability side, you look at income, marketing, trade. And then for environment, you're looking at biodiversity, climate, water, soils. So these things they interface with each other, they interact with each other, and so we're able to produce good and healthy crops or vegetables. Okay. Yeah, so this is a sample of lettuce being farmed. This is in Laguna. Okay, the second, I would say, principle or process that we're using is design thinking. Have you heard of it? Has anyone heard of design thinking before? So this is a process that centers on making sure that a product or a process or a system or a business is designed well and is designed with the human or the user in mind. Okay? So we're trying to simplify the whole journey, right, of creating a product, for example. So for the first circle, it says there empathize. So when you go to a community or you talk to people, you see and you listen to what they need. And then you define what's more clear, what service or product do I want, and then ideate, think of a product or a service that you can prototype, right? That you can test out in the field and test it out immediately in like a smaller scale. And then that's when you validate and you try to do it again from zero. So you're making sure that everyone's consulted within this process and making sure that it's fast, it's efficient. Okay, so what does it look like again? So this process, when applied to designing a community farm, for example, this was one of the projects that we've done online during the pandemic with the community in Philinvest, right? So we were able to hold workshops through Zoom, thankfully. This is when we started asking them questions. What do you want to see? What things do you want to listen to? What things do you want to taste? What do you want to see? Right? And we were able to group them into themes or things that made sense when grouped together. Okay, and then we tried to refine, right? So we zoomed in on the more specific details that they would like to have in the community farm or food forest. So, ang dami. So you have pili, papaya, durian, coffee, cacao, an assortment of different trees and species. And then for perennials, and then vegetables, you have leafy, pechay, kangkong, mustasa, fruiting vegetables, okra, talong, sile, cherry tomatoes, and then root crops and herbs. And then we set on like a general plan. What does it look like when you draw it on paper? So people placed where the fruit trees will be, where will your garden be, where will your bees or the colonies stay. So after refinement, it looked like this, right? So it's collaborative. This is something that people worked on together, like a visioning process. So that's design thinking in action. You're involving people throughout every step of the way. Because at the end of the day, these are the people who will use, right, the product or the system that you're creating or designing. Okay. And then the third point would be, it was really hard for us in the beginning when we were starting out farming because we only knew of traditional farmers within the area. We didn't know of any organic farmers who were practicing the things that we wanted to practice. But then we started discovering people who were into the same things that we were attuned to. And we joined them. We farmed with them. We stayed in their farms. We talk, right? We interact. And that's super, super important for you to see other people who are practicing it. So you're joining a community of practice. It's making it simpler for you. So if you're someone who wants to try farming, for example, or who wants to go into fashion design, or who wants to go into organic chemistry, try to seek out people who are already practitioners because they will be able to guide you, right? They will be able to tell you what things make sense for you to pursue first and what things to avoid so that you don't make the same mistakes that they made before. Okay, so for us, this is a project that we had in Surigao del Sur. It's called Halian Commune. So this is also a community of practice of different gardeners and farmers in Halian. So Halian, as you may know, Siargao is a very popular island. And then 2 hours away from that, in the middle of the sea, right, is a small island with 1,000 people, 1,000 families. So after Odette, we went there to create community gardens with them because this is a very pressing need for people to produce food. So we started designing it with them, creating a community nursery, right? So it's a whole integrated process. We gathered all the mothers and the stakeholders, and looked at things that they wanted to see in their community. And then we started doing the things. We started planting the seeds. So on the left side, you can see a table. We created this with artist Raf Ea. So we invite artists also into the process to make sure that it's more holistic so that other people can participate, like kids, for example. And they have ownership of the project, right? So this is a collage of portraits that children made in Halian. So this is an attempt, again, an attempt on placemaking and creating community spaces within an island. This is a seed-saving box that we distributed in other community farms in Siargao Island, which we happen to be working in also. So this is a relocalized farm network. We're looking at a main learning farm and other smaller community farms in other municipalities. And they talk to each other. What are the best practices? How do I control this insect? How do I grow the best peppers? How do I grow the best cucumbers? And the like, right? And then they share seeds with each other. So this is knowledge, this is information in practice. And they have a community nursery. So if you have a small lot, you don't have to make your own nursery. You can just chip in your time and you can get seedlings from the community nursery. This is in Halian with Local Lab. Okay, and then we also launched, so this is a website, it's called Link Learn Grow. This is an online platform for people to talk to each other and share resources because we believe that knowledge should be open. And this is something that people should have access to, right? So when you go to the website, you can check out different resources like agroecology, how to grow different types of vegetables, etc. Okay, and then finally, right? With all of these things, it's important to be there in the field. We can't just think about these things and not do the work. We can't tell the story first before we go to the field. You have to be there in order to tell the story. So for us, sustained joyful work is endurance, right? It's something that you go back to every day, try to learn about every day. And when you get lost in the process, you try to circle back on why you started. So last week, I was thinking about, when I started, I wasn't really keen on calling myself an entrepreneur. I still don't. I'm just trying to do the work that I think makes sense. So I don't like labels in general. But for guideposts for emerging entrepreneurs, this is what we thought of, right? So there are 4 things. Relocalize, be compassionate, own your position, and simplify. So what does it mean? So let's go to each. Right? So for relocalizing, often we think of farming as something that is so huge. You need hectares of land. No, not necessarily. We started the farm with just 500 square meters. And people started thinking, oh, this is doable. We started in a small lot that was abandoned with so many trash, right? So you ask now, what is enough? Is this venture something that I want to reap a lot, like millions of pesos from? Or do I just want enough? So I'm asking you also, right? When you set on ventures like this one, do you want to be a billionaire or do you want a comfortable or an enough life? Because for most people, enough is enough, right? Okay. The next thing is own your position, right? So here you ask, how do I get as close to the ground as possible? What does that mean? And how do I make the most out of my context? So often, there are some roadblocks that we encounter in the way that we tend to think of too many, like very nebulous or very very vague things along the way. But you discover when you're on the ground that the solutions are there. People know the answers, right? The product, the system, the business that you want to start, people need it. You just need to ask. And there'll be a market or an audience for it. So making the most out of your context. This lot we were renting. We don't have land. We don't own land. So we rented, and then we saw the other opportunities to do it, to start. So that's where we started. Third would be simplify. Okay, so you ask, how do you make it easy for your users or your customers or the people you collaborate with? And then how do you make it accessible? Because often, when we think about innovation, right? Or when we think about a venture or a business, we try to want to become the unicorn founder or like the next best thing. We want to solve the problems of the world, right? Think of the cure for cancer, things like that. These are really, really important endeavors. But I'd like to propose that you can also make it easy. You can start with the things that you have control of within your context, with the people that you interact with every day. The opportunities are there. Again, we're in the middle of crisis, right? So how do you think about the things that you encounter every day, like problems? How do you turn that into opportunities? And then once you are able to create the things, etc., now how do you make it accessible so that people can come to you and they can use the thing, right? It shouldn't be so expensive. It shouldn't be so hard to use. And then lastly, compassion. Here we ask, why is the thing we're doing necessary? Why do you need to do it anyway? When this is something that, do you think it's important for them? Do you think this is something that people can use? And then how do we create value together? Now here, right, we ask this question, who do we create value for? Is it for yourself? Is it for the communities you work with? And then this question actually is flawed to my understanding. Because when you go to a community, you're just facilitating. You're not a savior anyway, right? You're not delivering like super amazing things. You're just working with them, nakikisama, tao sa tao. You're being with them and hand-holding. So, let's revise this question. Who do we create value with, together with? Because at the end of the day, right, all of us, we have so many different skills and talents and value to share with each other. And as you've seen in the projects that I've shown you, this is not my work. This is the work of the people we've worked together with. I don't take any credit. I'm just here telling the story, but this is their story at the end of the day. So, thank you for listening, and salamat.
Thank you so much. Sir Tonio, maraming salamat po sa inyo. Learned so much from his talk, no? And I know he doesn't like titles, but we have certainly a wave maker right here. Palapangan po natin, Sir Tonio Flores. Oh my gosh, no? Involving everyone in the community, because at the end of the day, everyone is involved. And while he was delivering his speech, and when we were listening in, I can't help but play that tune in my head, that Filipino children's song, Magtanim ay di biro, maghapong na kayo ko. It got me thinking, magtanim ay di biro. Hindi talaga biro, it's a serious matter. And it's not just a business ng ating mga farmers. Everyone should be thinking about that welfare. And maghapong na kayo ko. Kapagod talaga siya. So we are having this Wave Talk series of talks to help you guys understand the situation. it's time for us to stand up not just for them, but to stand with them. Because at the end of the day, bumabalik yung isang quote sa utak ko di ba? And we all know that quote coming from Spider-Man, with great power comes, and with great social power comes great. That is what this Wave Talk is all about. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sir Tonio. Let's take a breather right now and amp up our emotions, turn up our feels, because we are going to be welcoming back one of the best P-pop groups in the whole wide world. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the group na nakita natin kanina. But before that, I just want to say, if you have lots of posts, I know some of you guys are taking some snaps, taking some videos, don't forget to use our official hashtags, which will be flashed in just a bit. All right? But now, we're going to be flashing some great dance moves right here on the stage. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, once again, put your hands together for First One.
Going on, I take you with me. You know I know a place where we can be free. One way to get there on a count of three. Ako'y nandito na, ha! At nahanap ang sarili, di mawawala pa. Taas na ihilain ang aking pangitain. At palagi panalangin ko ay aking kakamtin. There's one on the line, getting ready to drive to the road that's traveled by. Life's about to be confusing, but it's fine. Ooh, cause we'll never know unless we try. Turn up, Caro Show. Higit kanino, shine and glow. Turn up, get in the zone. What are you waiting for? Turn up, kaya. You're the baddest of them all. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano mang oras, you're the one that's good. Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Itaas ang kamay, come on, put up. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano mang oras, you're the one that's stand up. Dream, hold on, put your hands up. Sumigaw, shout out, come on, put up. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano mang oras, you're the one to stand up. Tabi ka na sa akin, hindi huwag ibitin. Kalimutan lahat ng pasakin. Hindi mo maramihin kahit ano mangyari. Tatagan ang hinga na malalim. Huwag na mga mahal, ibayang mo ba? Tumingin sa salamin at sabihin, kaya ko ba mag-aalala? Lumiko ng pataas sa tuwing. Life is a game, you gotta respect that. Manalo o matalo, we have the same impact. Patuloy lang sa pagangat, sapagkat kahit mamalat, di pa din ako magpapaawat. And now I'll never let it go. Now I'll never let it go. You can scream and say, oh. So be free, come with me till we see bigger dreams. And I gotta keep 0641. Turn up, time to show. Higit kanino, shine and glow. Turn up, get in the zone. What are you waiting for? Turn up, kaya. You're the baddest of them all. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano ang oras, you're the one that's good. Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Itaas ang kamay, come on, put up. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano ang oras, you're the one to stand up. Wala ba, tibayan mo pa? Tumingin sa salamin at sabihin, kaya ko ba mag-aalala? Sama-sama ka tahimik sumamit. Bye-bye sa paglakbay. Hawakan ng aking kamay, come on, let's fly. Ibigay, di bibigay. Ako na pasunong, let's reach the sky. Now everybody put your hands up. Dire-diretso na, can't stop. Move your body with the beat drop. Now we go. Turn up, time to show. Higit kanino, shine and glow. Turn up, get in the zone. What are you waiting for? Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Itaas ang kamay, come on, put up. Now turn it up, turn it up. Ano mang oras, you're the one to stand up. Come on, everybody, put your hands up. Itaas ang kamay, come on, put up. Now turn it up, turn it And that was our song, Turn Up. Actually, turn up means something very deep for us, and that is...
Actually, Turn Up is a contrast to our to all the songs po na sinulat namin kasi kung napapansin niyo po yung mga songs po na kinanta namin previously is very dark, very strong. But yung Turn Up po is more on enlightenment siya. Teka lang, nababagot ako.
And yun po yung tulad na sinasabi niya, this song po very positive lang po. Unlike, kumbaga gusto lang namin ipakita and iparinig sa mga nakikinig sa amin, mga listeners namin na kahit na, of course, pinagdadaanan tayo, positive, negative, may mga dark days talaga tayo. But then, lahat ng bagay, magta-turn up and let's just be positive. And darating din yung pinapangarap natin.
Yes, and speaking of that, being socially responsible means that we're willing to turn up whatever negative situations we have in our society. Meaning, turn up means keep pushing forward and eventually all the negative things we have in this world will turn upside up. So please, keep doing your piece of the role in this life because we're the only ones who are capable of making this world a better place to live in.
That's it, Wave Makers! We have witnessed the second episode of Online Wave Talk with Mr. Tonio Flores. Tama si Kuya Robi, we will learn a lot of things from his talk. So comment down, Wave Makers, what you have learned from Mr. Tonio Flores. So I am waiting for your cliche of what you have thought and what you have learned about the talk of Mr. Tonio. For me, I remember one thing as he discussed, the question, who do we create value with? Para kanino nga ba natin ginagawa yung ating mga ginagawa sa pang-araw-araw? Bilang isang education advocate, I am doing this work for our Filipino children, para sa bata at para sa bayan. Specifically, those who are in marginalized. So kayo, mga online wave makers, para kanino kayo kumikilos sa bawat araw? I'm acknowledging the presence of our teachers from different parts of the country. I saw someone from Sorsogon, School Division of Sorsogon. Good evening, Miss Florence Ayo. Also, we have from Kimanait National High School. Good evening also, Miss Evangeline Matias from Kumadkad Central School. We also have here coming from School Division of Sipalay City, Miss Mary Domingo. And we also have from Samar, Mr. Manuel Marduquio. We also have coming from Baungon National High School. Good evening, Miss Jennifer Cabiasan. And good evening to everyone, to all online wave makers. At hindi rin magpapatalo ang ating mga kabataang Pilipino. All youth wave makers, good evening. This time, before we end our program, I am now officially closing all entries of the We Are the Wave giveaway. Again, I am now closing all the entries from the first giveaway, the We Are the Wave giveaway. So now, stop commenting We Are the Wave, but I am encouraging everyone to be part of the wave. So before we end our program, as mentioned, nabanggit ko kanina that there is still one giveaway this coming before the end of this event. So we will have another giveaway. This time, 5 from our viewers will win tumbler sponsored by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. So again, everyone, we invite you to be participative and always check the screen as we will be flashing again the mechanics and how you will win the prizes. So, how you're going to win this prize sponsored by Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. This time, comment 3 to 4 words or one phrase on what you have learned from Mr. Tonio Flores. Ano nga ba ang tumatak sa inyo, mga kapwa online wave makers? Second, for this giveaway, winners will be chosen again by the Good Neighbors Philippines. And third, the phrase or words that will really give impact, that will be the winner. And lastly, all the winners will be announced. We will announce it on the last episode of this online event. Again, how you're going to win? Comment 3 to 4 words or 1 phrase on what you have learned from Mr. Tonio Flores. Ano nga ba ang natutunan ng mga kabataang online wave makers? We are giving you the end of time tonight as you give all the comments regarding what you have learned from Mr. Tonio. So, we congratulate in advance everyone as you write what you have learned. So, ano pa nga bang hinihintay natin? Thank you, online wave makers, for being with us until the end of the night. Tingnan natin kung meron na nga bang mga nag-comment. Oh, there's a lot coming here. Mr. Romel P. Atienza, entrepreneurs or innovators willing to take the risk and generate useful and helpful ideas. From Rashida Ayob, hard work is part of our journey. It will be the way for us to succeed. From Shine Banza, always believe on yourself. Yes, I believe in myself. Miss Elaine Kalakat, magtanim ay di biro, ngunit maghapon ay di dapat nakaupo. Okay, China Maria Duna, coming together is a beginning, staying together is a progress, and working together is a success. And I'm ending with that quote. We are here together to make wave, to make change, and to be part of the wave. So, we will see you on our last but definitely not the least episode with none other than Miss Antoinette Tos as she talk about driving action on climate change. Miss Antoinette Tos is a Filipino-American award-winning actress, singer, host, and Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Environment Program. Catch us still live on December 14 at 7 p.m. Live also again at Good Neighbors Philippines official Facebook account and YouTube channel. This has been your Kuya Red, and good night, wave makers. Continue being together and continue making the waves.
Billion of us and everyone who ever lived and all the animals and all the plants and all life that we know are all in this one small blue planet that we call home. And it is up to us to protect it and to make sure that it is sustainable for the future generations.
Who do we create value with, together with? Because at the end of the day, all of us, we have so many different skills and talents and value to share with each other. And as you've seen in the projects that I've shown you, this is not my work. This is the work of the people we've worked together with. I don't take any credit. I'm just here telling the story, but this is their story at the end of the day.
We are having this wave talk to help you guys understand the situation. It's time for us to stand up, not just for them, but to stand with them.
The fact that we even exist in this world, the fact that you are here, you are here, you are here, you are here, you all have a purpose and a reason for existing. To your skills, your brilliance, your feelings, your passions, your emotions, your experiences, all those things combined become a part of who you truly are and the impact that you make on the world. And remember that you have a special, unique role to play in changing the world. Someday, someday, maybe someday, someday, yeah. Thank you so much, and always remember, no matter what, anything is possible when we come together.
You discover when you're on the ground that the solutions are there. People know the answers, right? The product, the system, the business that you want to start, people need it. You just need to ask. And there will be a market or an audience for it.